Hey everybody, so this is a video that I've been meaning to do for a while to update everybody what's happened in my life and everything that's currently on my YouTube right now is pretty dramatic, and it was at a time that I was really fighting for my life, and a lot has changed since that has happened. So just to kind of recap, I started really crying for help. I finished my degree, and it was about 6 months into work, and the student loans started to ask for money. Now, I was very proactive, and I sent them my assets and liabilities. I was like, I don't have enough money for this. They then declined it, so I spent a year arguing with them and trying to mitigate with them, and I went to my member of parliament. I went to really everybody that I could to listen to my story, to give me some to back off and just let me pay the bills that I need, because the student loans were obviously not a necessity for my living. So I was left with very little disposable money at the end of my paycheck. I went to my employer, asked them for a raise, at which point they said that they would get me a doctor. And so I went to see them, and it was really just an involuntary psychiatric assessment to see if I was employable still, at which point my landlord sold his apartment, or the unit I was living in, and I had to move. I couldn't find a place that I could afford as well, and I was afraid to get into the same situation that I was in, where the student loans were trying to garnish me, and so there's really nothing that I could afford in Ottawa. So I went to live with my grandmother to try and resolve things and file for bankruptcy and everything like that. And I was going to go back to work after everything was resolved. Sometime late winter, I realized that it wasn't going as planned. Work stopped paying me, and so I filed for a long-term disability, and they declined it, at which point saying that I was fit to live out of my car. At that time, I had basically sold everything in my life to try and keep afloat. Had to leave my grandmother's because she wasn't very well. Long story there, I won't get into that. Ended up at my ex's, and then living out of my car, and there was nothing that I could afford. I was not getting any income, and if I were to go back to Ottawa, I would have been living out of my car to stay at that job, and insurance seemed to believe that that was acceptable, and that I was fit to work, and declined my long-term disability. I got that in writing and went to a lawyer, and I had no idea it would take this long. I had no idea they would be this ruthless and postpone a quick resolution to this big mistake that they've made. It's now been a year and a half that I'll be without income. I'm still employed through this global design firm, and at this time receiving statutory holiday pay, which is like once a month. And then in the meantime, in the beginning, I was doing porn, not safe for work content. And then I posted a GoFundMe sometime in the summer, basically, crying for the last little bit of my life. I definitely felt that, by this time this year, or even by the fall of last year, that I would have been gone. There's only so long that I could have been able to maintain what I was doing. The porn was just basically paying for vet bills, medical and car insurance and things like that, stupid stuff. Could not afford to live on my own with it. So I just, explained my story again. Sorry, getting emotional. It really worked up. And a bunch of people actually reached out. I had a lot of support from that. Found out who a lot of my friends are, which was really beautiful. And, a few people in Europe have stepped in. They've become family now. One was able to invite me into their home and their family, and paid for a couple trips for me to visit Europe as an escape from what was happening in my life. And that was a true blessing. I would not be able to see that otherwise. and people have been supporting me and my finances. And then another person reached out and was like, you're not going to be homeless anymore. And still not over that, like in a good way, because that changed my life come August. So August, somebody gave me enough resources to get a place, replace my things, and feel safe for the first time in a really long time. And it's priceless how home is, and to feel safe and to not worry that you're going to freeze in the middle of the winter, like a lot of people are. And like, I've slept in the snow, I know what it's like. I thought I was going to have to do it again, and there's just a lot that I want to say. So I have changed a lot. I'm still doing porn. I'm still making ends meet, trying to get to the end of this lawsuit. However, I do have a lot of support now, and a lot of love and a lot of family, and people that are just showing me the good in the world, really, truly, and showing me that it's worth to fight for others, and have shown me that what I'm doing is for the best of others, and challenging this mistake is in the best interest of others, and to keep strong and to keep doing this for others, and to try and make a difference so this doesn't happen to other people. Like, I can't accept it. I can't walk away from this. So yeah, where I'm at right now, like, I just went to Portugal, which was an experience that I'll never forget. I came back. I'm still trying to get to the end of this lawsuit, which is in April, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm trying to write a series about my life. It's a really interesting perspective on things. I have a very complex history. I've seen a lot, I've walked in a lot of shoes, and I have a lot of wisdom. So I'm trying to get what I have learned on paper, to write a series, how-to, and just to pass along my wisdom. It's not going to be a whiny book. I want it to be more of a how-to, and, the challenges that I've had in my life and how I've been able to overcome them, and just try to inspire people with that. So that's the most of it, but it's very traumatizing and funny. I'm going to try and make it as funny as possible. And it'll be sad. I've written a lot so far, and I'm currently digesting how many books I'm going to make it. Maybe the second longest series ever written. But yeah, lots to work with, and it's interesting. I even find it unbelievable that as I write it, as I share it, as I talk to people, I find my life unbelievable. So it's that crazy. But I'm still here for some reason, and people believe in me, and so I believe in myself. I have forgiven myself for everything that's happened, and for what it took for me to survive and to continue existing today. I forgive myself for all of those things, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. And I just want to do whatever I can to make sure that this isn't a problem in society, that students are not subjected to make ends meet through sex work, that employers protect their employees if they've, I was working for them for a year and a half. Like, I did a lot of the work there, and I deserve more protection than this, especially since I've been paying into a benefits plan and contributing a lot of work at a certain place. I think that we deserve more. I think there should be better policies in place, and I'm a lot less angry than I was before. Not necessarily angry, but I was definitely at a different point in my life when I made those other videos. I was in fight mode, like fighting for my life and watching everything around me fall between my hands and doing everything I can, doing more than most would in my situation, and then still failing and still feeling like the system is failing you. And so I don't want others to feel that way. I'm going to stop it if I can. I'll die trying. So cheers to that. Thank you for listening. I hope I have said everything that I've wanted to. It never is, but it's like 10 minutes now. But I didn't cry this time, almost did. And yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting journey, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. And I'm not going to edit this video because I'm just going to let it be and show off my awkward self completely and all of the stutters and mistakes. Anyways, thanks for listening, and bye.